Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Madam Secretary. Good morning to you. Appreciate you being here. I also would like to thank you for all the personnel at DHS who are working so diligently and tirelessly in Boston, as well as West Texas. There were several victims in Boston from Charlotte, North Carolina, and so we were watching with a personal interest and really appreciate what your folks are doing. I also wanted to echo at the outset and sort of associate myself with the border metrics discussion we've had here. From my standpoint, I understand how important reforming our immigration system is to our economy and our national security, but I can't support any immigration reform if we can't be satisfied that we've secured the border. And so getting those metrics where we can definitively talk about how we're doing on the border, securing that border, and making sure that border security is a piece of comprehensive immigration reform will be critical to getting my support and others, I think, in our conference. And so we look forward to working with you to try and come up with definitive metrics and move in that direction. As chairman of the Transportation Security Subcommittee, I'm particularly interested in the TSA's budget and would love to discuss, sort of direct my questions in that direction. It seems logical as we're moving towards risk-based security at TSA, which is something I fully support. I think it's the exact right thing to do. I'd support the administrator. It seems to me that as we move, though, towards more risk-based security, there ought to be significant cost savings for the taxpayer. For example, as we do risk-based screening, we start focusing more on threats. That ought to free up resources. As we look at some of the new high-tech baggage screening, it ought to mean that we need less screeners for baggage. As we look at some of the privacy software upgrades for AIT, again, ought to be able to reduce some of the workforce and screeners there as well. But it doesn't seem that in the budget we're reflecting a lot of those cost savings. Why are we not seeing those?
I think, Representative, because I think those cost savings will be more long-term than experienced immediately in FY14. You are seeing some savings. For example, the AITs have basically been installed, and so we don't have to buy as many and install as many AITs. Same with baggage systems. The basic equipment has been installed, and now it's a matter of continual upgrades. I do believe as we move to more risk-based, those long-term savings will accrue, but it's hard to say, well, they're going to happen immediately.
I understand. But what are the cost and personnel efficiencies do you think that we can be gained by expanding pre-check, for example, and implementing some of these other risk-based policy decisions? How much savings do you think we're looking at?
Well, I think it all depends, but in a pre-check regime, you don't obviously need as many TSOs before an individual gets on a plane. So there will be personnel savings with that. On the other hand, we do need to make sure that we fund the operation of the pre-check program itself and our ability to do background checks and so forth on the members.
Absolutely. Well, I understand that obviously we need to put these systems in place before we start seeing some of the reductions in personnel you talk about. But what do you think the time frame is on that, particularly when we talk about pre-check or some?
I would defer to the administrator on that. I think we have set an aggressive goal of having 1 in 4 passengers be in some sort of expedited program by the end of the year. If we meet that goal, I think we'll start seeing some reduction certainly in growth in personnel shortly thereafter.
Right. Well, I appreciate that. Shifting a little bit, an issue that we've talked about in private. My concerns about us looking long term at threats of an EMP attack. One of the things that I brought up with you is when we look at St. Elizabeth and as we prepare to move into the new DHS headquarters there. My concern is that we're spending a lot of money on that facility, but I'm not sure we're doing what we need to do to harden the electric grid there. I would just ask, has there been any other thought put into that? And I guess behind that question, I would just say I think it'd be important that there is.
I understand the concern. What I would suggest, if you have the time, is a classified briefing on St. E's and what's happening. But I would also like to say that you know, given now I'm going into my fifth year, but we really need a headquarters. It is very difficult to efficiently manage a department as diverse as ours when you're in 50-plus locations around the capital region. So I hope that is something the committee can support.
Well, absolutely. I know I'm running out of time here, but I just wanted to say again, we do have a classified briefing scheduled that I've requested, and so we look forward to following up with you on that. But I think again, this is a long-term situation. I think we need to be working on together when we look at the threat of EMP attack.
Indeed.
Thank you.